Welcome back to the Villain Report. What's going on, everybody?
You like that?
It's great. It's great. It's great. It's a beautiful Monday. Welcome back to the Villain Report, where kneecaps get bitten, narratives get shredded. In Detroit, 313 Sports, well, they get the spotlight that they truly deserve. I'm your host, Russell Wayne, the 313 villain, the voice of vengeance, the mouth of the Motor City Madness, and your unapologetic villain of the 313. In today's episode, we're going to talk about roster projections and answer all of your questions. We're live on Facebook with over 75,000 villains. We're live on the YouTube. And you can subscribe with that link that I just threw into the comments right there. And I appreciate that. And this episode, along with a lot of other episodes, is brought to you by Fanatics. If you're rocking with the 313 and you bleed Honolulu blue, then you need to gear up like the real one over at our Fanatics, our official affiliate marketing partner. I'm talking Detroit Lions jerseys, blackout hoodies, throwback Tigers gear, Red Wings drip so icy that it should come with a Zamboni. And for the WWE maniacs out there, you already know that we got everything from Roman Reigns to the old school Austin 316. And they do got your size. So here's what you do. You click the link in the description. And you can save up to 25% off of your order. Every click supports this channel, this page, and lets the world know that Detroit fans do it bigger, we do it better, and we're taking over your stadiums. Now grab that gear and then tag me in it when it lands. The Villain Squad don't do knockoffs. We do official. We do Fanatics. Get yours. So welcome to it. The deeds are done. How y'all doing out there? Want to say hi to everybody that is in here so far. Might only be a couple people right there. What's up, Brandon? Lions, baby.
You like that? You like that?
Henry Gray's up in the house.
You like that?
The Central Scrutinizer. Faith, family, and then football in that order. We use football. We don't let football use us. The preseason's over, and I'm happy to be back into my routine here. Back into the dailies because we have football to talk about. You know what? I do cover all of the sports here, all the 313 sports now, but football is my passion. Football is the time of the year that I like to get into. And I love what the Tigers have done. Tigers are in first place in the Central. But what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Tigers are going to be baseball. 180 games. Or something like that. Maybe it's not that many. So many games. By the time they get done, they could play 180 games. Especially when you're talking postseason. Too much. That's so many games. I mean, I'd love to have that much football, but that would just, the players would probably be unalived at that point. Oh my gosh, my screen's going crazy right now. Get out there. All right. So I wanted to bring back something that I've been trying to get back into the mix. If you remember when I did the lists last year, we had Pete, the Unaliver.
Took care of that thing for you.
Now, if you know anything about Pete, the Unaliver, is he comes in and does the things that are tough. He makes the tough decisions.
Took care of that thing for you.
And that's what happens on roster cutdown days. When you got these bubble players that are out there, they got to make the tough decisions. The roster is sitting at 91 guys, and I think they'll be able to keep 54 with the way that they manipulate the roster and get an international player in there or something like that. They can usually keep one extra somehow. But Pete, the Unaliver's got to come in and make some tough decisions. Come on, Pete.
Took care of that thing.
Thank you. I don't like doing that. Quarterbacks. Let's start with quarterbacks because it's the most important position on the field. We got Jared Goff.
It's my quarterback.
Jared Goff. And then we got Kyle Allen, baby. How much of how many people were surprised that Kyle Allen was as good as he is? I'd have to say I'm a little bit surprised. I mean, Kyle Allen comes in and wins the backup job. Won it. He won it. I mean, even if Hendon Hooker played well, which he didn't, Kyle Allen probably would still beat him out for the backup quarterback job. Now, we'd probably be talking more about, hey, man, we should try to keep Hendon Hooker on the roster as the third quarterback. But Kyle Allen won that job. And the question being is, are you going to keep three quarterbacks? I don't think they're going to keep three quarterbacks. I mean, Hendon just didn't show enough. And, I mean, Dan Campbell, said as much. I don't think this is a hot take here. I think a change of scenery might do well for him. The thing is the kid's got some athletic ability in Hendon Hooker. I think Hendon Hooker would be better served to go to a place like the Jets, where they're already trying to work around a running quarterback in Justin Fields. Our offense is about timing. Throwing to empty spaces that you're sure that your wide receiver is going to get to. And that's not for everybody. You need a quarterback that can run the offense and go through progressions. Progression 1, progression 2, progression 3. And then when the play's done and over with, you either throw the ball into the dirt. If it doesn't work, live to fight another day. But this is a distribution offense. We got playmakers all over the place. We don't need you to be Superman and run all over the place. I don't want Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson couldn't run this offense. Lamar Jackson would change this offense. I'm not saying it wouldn't be great to have Lamar Jackson here, but the offense wouldn't be the same with him here. You wouldn't be trying to run the offense in the same way. He's not a progression quarterback. Jared Goff is a progression quarterback. I want to get the ball into the hand of the playmakers as quickly as possible. I ain't waiting for the play to break down because I got no athletic ability. But Hendon's got some athletic ability. I think he would be better served to go to a place like the Jets or to back up, try to get on the roster on, the Ravens. He would be a good backup quarterback for the Ravens with that style. So I think that's it. That's it, Pete. You got to come in there. You got to make the tough decision. So what's your final verdict on Hendon Hooker, Pete?
Took care of that thing for you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much, Pete. I love it when Pete comes in and makes the tough decisions. Moving on to running backs. Some of these position groups to me are pretty predictable, because we have solid guys. And we went over this last week when we were talking about the guys that were definitely in. And there's some guys that have earned their way onto this roster, and you just know that they're mainstays. That's why the roster battles were so far down the line when it comes to, practice squad and the final, 5 or 6 roster spots, right? Now, in running backs, we actually have a good problem here too. But we're only going to keep 4 running backs. And it's so obvious. I don't mean to be boring with it, but Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Craig Reynolds, and Sione Vaki. I mean, that's what you got. And, Jacob Sailors, he played well. I think that on maybe 28 other rosters that he could make a roster. He could make it on a roster as, a 3rd or 4th running back. But we got to make the tough decisions. And as good as he's played, I mean, I don't even know. Maybe Brad Holmes can, sling some quick trades on some of these guys before he waives them. Somebody might give a 7th round pick or a pick swap for Jacob Sailors. But no, gonna have to come in there, Pete. The guy's played his ass off. He probably deserves a roster spot, Mr. Sailors. But we have to call in Pete, and he's got to make the tough cut.
Took care of that thing for you.
Oh, thank you, Pete. It makes it so hard. It's hard for me to move on to the next position group when I know that you had somebody that played so well. Let's see what you guys got in here. To my peeps. What's up, Brandon? What's up, Henry Gray? Rick C's up in the house. What's up, Davey? Mark Orlando. Good morning, villains. Brandon says run the Gibbs and Montgomery back and forth. Them both on the field at the same time. I like that idea. If they got Jahmyr Gibbs out there running routes, it's such a tough guard. We got some players that are elevating right now, and it's just kind of scary for the rest of the NFL. They're going to find out. They're going to find out about this team. There's a lot of solid pieces on this team. And I think that the coordinator thing is going to be way overemphasized, and they're going to say that it's way overemphasized, and they're going to say it quickly. Our team is a well-oiled machine. The offense runs. And you can troll me all that you want, guys. It is what it is, because I know that you'll go run and hide when you're wrong. The villain don't run and hide, but I know that you will. But too much is made about these coordinator things, because that's why we promote from within. And I don't know if that's a popular take that's out there. You know, I know there's a lot of people that just think that we're going to take this gigantic step back because of the coordinators. Now, I do believe, and I'm taking a segue right here before we move into the wide receivers. And I know that it's you look at it, and I do believe in, you know, taking a step back, right, with a little bit with the coordinators. I do believe in that, but I also believe in progression at the exact same time. So I think that the progression is going to outweigh the setback of not having the coordinators. Let me explain that. The progression, a guy like Jack Campbell, I think Jack Campbell, this is one player here, Jack Campbell is going to be a way better version of Jack Campbell than he was last year. So the exact same player is just going to slide in and be a way better player. Brian Branch is going to be a way better player than last year. Terrion Arnold is going to be a way better player than last year. Kirby Joseph is going to be a better player than last year. These guys have not reached their prime yet, and they're great players. I'm talking about the all-pro players. Jahmyr Gibbs has not became the best version of Jahmyr Gibbs that he's going to be yet in his career. So we have a lot of players that are going into their prime at the exact same time. That elevates the team. Now, I do believe that there's a downgrade when you lose coordinators, but I do believe that the elevation is going to outweigh the downgrade, and I think it's going to be by a lot. I think it's going to be by a lot. I'm going to get there, Rick. I will. I promise you. I'm going through the offense, and then I'm going to get into the Broderick Martin stuff, if you don't mind, because I got it kind of all set up over here, so I could go through it in that way. And I'm not that organized, so I appreciate you, Rick. But I am going to get to the Broderick Martin question right there. Am I ready to give up on him? We'll have to see. But on the wide receiver, let's get into the wide receiver. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on that too. Do you think that the progression is going to outweigh what we're going to lose based off of having new coordinators? So wide receivers. So this is another one of these spots where it's like, wow, we have a lot of good wide receivers right here. And I think a lot of the roster gymnastics and the guys that we keep is going to be predicated on this position group, the wide receivers, because it would be unprecedented for them to keep 7 wide receivers. And I think that there's a chance that they might do it. They may keep 7 wide receivers. And that is almost, it's to protect talent. And I think that this move right here is going to be the door opener for bringing Zadarius Smith back. And we're going to get into that. But wide receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Tim Patrick, Khalif Raymond, Isaac Tesla, Dominic Lovett. And the question being, do you keep Jackson Meeks as the 7th wide receiver? That's the tipping question right there. I want to throw that one out to you guys. If you guys want to participate, I love it when you guys hit these comments in there. Do you want to keep Jackson Meeks? Or do we have to have Pete come in and make the tough cut? But if they do keep Jackson Meeks, I just want to throw an idea out here that ties into the Zadarius Smith thing. But say they keep 7 wide receivers, right? Now, if they waive a player, then the other 31 teams have a chance to get him. So you're taking a chance, if you want to bring Jackson Meeks back and put him on the practice squad, right? Now, you could have Jackson Meeks make the 53-man roster, keep the 7, and then immediately you can make a roster move to move him down to the practice squad, and then they can protect him. You're allowed to protect a certain amount of players on the practice squad. Now, they couldn't protect him to get him through waivers, but they could have him make the 53-man roster and then immediately move him down to the practice squad, open up a roster spot, and then re-sign Zadarius Smith. That's an out there take that I have right there. Let me know what you think of that one in the comments. I am the 313 villain. So wide receivers, what are we doing right here? Meeks is a keeper. Keep Meeks, love it. Ooh, cutting the draft pick over. Well, I don't know if they'd be willing to do that, Central. Because they had a chance to draft Meeks. They drafted Lovett. But I think what Lovett brings on special teams gives him a leg up because he can be a gunner. He can be a gunner. So, man, this is a tough one right here. If we're going to bring it in there. I say that he's in. I would think that he is in. Broderick Martin could be a WWE superstar. He could. Oh man, I don't want him to make. I mean, we'll have to make the Tom Kennedy cut. That's one thing that we'll have to have in there for sure. Come on, we got to bring back in Pete with Tom Kennedy, Ronnie Bell, Malik Taylor, Jacoby Keenan James.
Took care of that thing for you.
Got to make the tough cuts. So we either have 6 or 7 wide receivers right there that they're going to keep, I would think. Or maybe they cut both of them in favor of some big men that we see later. Moving on to the tight ends, Sam Laporta, Brock Wright, Shane Zylstra. I don't know if anybody else has really done anything to, warrant getting in over Zylstra. I mean, do they dare only keep 2 tight ends? I mean, they have all these other playmakers. Maybe they only keep 2 tight ends. Because all the wide receivers can block. You don't really need a blocking tight end. Shane Zylstra can catch the ball. I mean, I guess he is a red zone target, but I don't know. That might be the surprise. Maybe they only keep 2 tight ends. What do you think of that take? Let me know in the comments. Do you think there's any possibility that they only keep 2 tight ends? Could it just be Sam Laporta, Brock Wright? Adios to everybody else. Making the tough cuts. Making the tough cuts.
It's my quarterback.
Took care of that thing for you.
Thanks, Pete. Thanks, Pete. That could be a hot take right there. Moving on to the offensive tackles. Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker, Dan Skipper, Giovanni Manu. I mean, I guess you could ask, would Jamarco Jones get in there over Giovanni Manu? I think Giovanni Manu has shown enough. He's progressing. Giovanni Manu. I mean, when it comes with these things, you guys got to be careful out there. When you're calling bust picks, oh, Brad Holmes missed on Giovanni Manu. It's like he told you that it was a project. And, oh, look, he's learning how to play offensive tackle. And the better that he gets at all these technical things, it's like the reason they drafted him is because he's a monster. You don't see too many 340-pound dudes that are all muscle. And Giovanni Manu, once the brain and the technique catch up with the physical, then you're going to see why it was such a great pick. And then you're going to have a good tackle that's going to be ready by next year. And then you're going to have a decision to make with Taylor Decker. You never know. So that's my pick. I think he's going to get in there over Jamarco Jones. And then you have Pete the Unaliver's got to come in. Say Jamarco Jones, Gunner.
Took care of that thing for you.
Thanks, Pete. I appreciate it. I'm so happy that we have Pete the Unaliver. Welcome to the Villain Report for everybody that is just tuning in. I am your host, the 313 Villain. What's going on? Today we're going over some roster projections. We're on to the offensive tackle. Oh, no, we're on the interior. We just got done doing offensive tackles. And then we have Pete the Unaliver, who comes in and makes all the tough cuts. If you remember Pete from the movie Goodfellas, when he was going around introducing everybody.
Took care of that thing for you.
So, moving on to the interior offensive line. Central says, yes, only 2 tight ends. I didn't think I'd get any love on that. That's crazy. No point in 3 tight ends. 4 offensive tackles is good. I'm making it executive decisions. I am going to cut myself so others have a chance. Not TK. Tom Kennedy. You can't kill Tom Kennedy. I bet you. How much you want to bet that he makes it onto the practice squad? Tom Kennedy, you cannot kill this guy.
Took care of that thing for you.
It don't matter. He comes, it's the Undertaker, you know. Interior offensive linemen, Graham Glasgow, Christian Mahogany, Tate Ratledge, Coyote Awasika. And then is where it gets murky. I do believe that Kingsley Ekuagan is going to make the roster. You got injured reserve guys like Tristan Colin and Miles Frazier. That they could probably start him on the PUP list, and that would get him on the roster. I think that would be a good call because he ain't ready yet. No point. Yeah, we got Skipper. Oh, great call. Look at Rick. Nope.
You like that?
No point in 3 tight ends. We got Dan Skipper. Come on. I love it. We got Dan Skipper. So, interior offensive linemen, Graham Glasgow, Mahogany, Tate Ratledge, Coyote Awasika, and then Kingsley. I got those 5 guys. And as far as Mutai, Michael Neese, Mason Miller, Zach Johnson, well, we got to bring in Pete. Hey, Pete, we got these guys. It's hard.
Took care of that thing for you.
Oh, thank you, Pete. Pete coming in, making all the hard cuts. Beautiful thing. Interior. Okay, so now we get to the defense. Rick, we're going to get into the defense now. You guys ready for some defense? But before we get into the defense, I wanted to let you guys know that this episode is brought to you by Fanatics. Let me get in there. There. This episode is brought to you by Fanatics, right? If you're rocking with the 313 and you bleed Honolulu blue, then you need to gear up like the real one over at Fanatics, our affiliate marketing partner. I'm talking Lions jerseys, blackout hoodies, throwback Tigers gear, Red Wings drip so icy that it should come with a Zamboni. So here's what you do. Click the link in the description. Save up to 25% off of your order from our affiliate marketing partners at fanatics.com. So Villain Squad, we don't do knockoffs. We do originals. Official. We do Fanatics. Get yours. It's actually fun to me. I don't know if that's annoying to you guys, but moving on to the defensive ends, Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport, Muhammad, and there's where it gets murky. Do you keep four? Are you? Do you? Are we? Is it Nate Lynn, Isaac Ukwu, Mitchell Agude? I mean, do you keep 6 defensive ends? Do you keep all of those guys? Because the thing about our roster, which is interesting for this year, is because we didn't have our 2 starting defensive ends last year. We haven't even seen what Aiden Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport look like together for more than 3 games. And I don't know if we're going to, because I know that Davenport has that injury history. But sometimes I get feelings. I get these little birdies that talk to me. And the little birdie's telling me that this guy wants to get back on the field. Marcus Davenport has a chip on his shoulder. And I don't know why, but I believe he's going to play some games this year. Now, I don't know how well he's going to play. I'm not going to go out and say that he's going to have 10 sacks or anything like that. But I do have this feeling that Marcus Davenport is going to play double-digit games this year. I mean, if he played over half the season, I think that for what they're paying him, I think that Lion fan is going to like that output if you can get Davenport to play 10-plus games. Thoughts on that in there. And Muhammad, this is a player that has been developed here that just keeps getting better and better. He sets an edge well. And Nate Lynn, I think that he has a really good chance to make the roster. I think there's a good chance that there could be 4 defensive ends, and he is the one that makes the roster. And even the other 2 guys, Isaac Ukwu and Mitchell Agude, both of those guys, because of so many injuries last year, they got elevated from the practice squad and they actually played. And that's what Dan Campbell said. If you are on the practice squad, they will use you. They use it as an extension of their roster, an extension of the 53-man roster, extending it out to 59 players or 69 players. $69 players. So I don't think that those guys are going to make the roster because I don't think that they have a lot of value outside of what they can do here. Maybe somebody else will pick him up through waivers, but I think that those two players in particular, Isaac Ukwu and Mitchell Ogude, are Detroit only value. Like, I think they are valuable because they know what to do here. They've been at training camps here. They've played here. They've played within the defense in regular season games and even playoff games. So they have that kind of experience. But I don't think the other teams that would value what they do like we do. So I think there could be a good chance that we could get those guys on the practice squad. Nate Lynn, he's played too well in this preseason. He's put too much good stuff on tape. I don't think that he would make it through. So I'm going to have Pete go ahead and come in here. And in my opinion, this is what we're doing here. The 313 villain has a hard time making the tough decisions, so you got to call in Pete. And I'm going to keep 4 defensive ends. I am going to keep Nate Lynn. And as far as Isaac Ukwu and Mitchell Ogude.
Took care of that thing.
Oh, thank you, Pete. He does all the tough things for me. Thank you. Now, defensive tackle. Defensive tackle. DJ Reader. Talik Williams, Roy Lopez, Pat O'Connor, Makai Wingo. And gosh, man, Keith Cooper has been one of the biggest and bestest surprises this offseason. And you wanted it to be Broderick Martin. What do I think about Broderick Martin? You know, you want the draft picks to work. You drafted them for a reason. But Keith Cooper, the guy you brought in, UDFA, has outplayed him. And the way that they handle this is going to tell me a lot. I mean, are we going to be overly loyal to players that were drafted? Especially with third-round picks. Like Hendon Hooker and Broderick Martin, I think are going to be cut. I think they're going to get waived. And that's going to be the first day 2 picks that the Lions have given up on. But the thing is, I mean, you can look at that as a negative, but in this case, it's hard to not have the positive outweigh the negative. You can't help or know the heart of somebody until they get in there. And if Keith Cooper comes in off the street, wins a spot onto the squad, and outworks people and earns that spot, then he deserves to be there. Miles Adams is another guy that could get a roster spot, but Keith Cooper's outplayed him. And I don't think any of them played well enough to want to keep like 8 defensive tackles. So Keith Cooper, I mean, that's the pivot right there. There's the player. Do you keep 5 defensive tackles or 6 defensive tackles? Keith Cooper's earned it. Yeah, Broderick Martin, Mark Orlando. Thank you, buddy. Rick C says, I'm no longer expecting Z to be brought back. If it happens, great, but I'm not going to let myself be disappointed over it. I like that call. I think they do keep Keith Cooper. And to your point, Rick, I think that they're going to do a roster do some roster shenanigans here, and they're going to bring back Big Z. I do believe that. I believed it since they and it's like making a bet on a Super Bowl. You know, I'm going to win the Super Bowl, and you have to wait through the whole year to see if you were right. So I've been waiting since the day they cut Zadarius Smith, where I thought it was over the contract. And I said after the last preseason game, when they do the roster cuts, they're going to re-sign Zadarius Smith at the end of training camp. So I've had to wait. I don't know if I'm right yet. But I think they can do some roster configuration here. You get a guy like Keith Cooper, if he makes the 53-man roster and then you drop him down to the practice squad, then you can protect him. They're allowed to protect a certain amount of players. So in a sense, they can keep people past the 53. And with that roster spot, Rick, they could sign a guy like Zadarius Smith. It's almost like keeping 55 players. If you make that, if you already know which guys you're going to protect with the practice squad. What's up, Jerome? I am doing great with my family. I am the proud father of an awesome 6-year-old autistic boy. And that is my life now. The reason why I'm sitting here talking to you from my home is because I can't do traditional things anymore. I have to take care of my kid, who is awesome. Autism. That's what I'm going to start calling autism. Autism. So when it comes to that, I appreciate you even more for watching this program, because it does give me lifeblood. It gives me an opportunity to be at home with him. And just so you know, special needs caregivers, if I were to go out and try to work out into the world, I couldn't make enough money to pay the caregiver that it would take to take care of my son. So I have to be able to, roll with it. I'm not complaining about it. That's what you do when you have challenges, is you find ways to make it work. And God is on my side. Thank you, Jerome. And I have faith that through works, if I continue to work hard, I'm speaking life into my life. And I want to speak life into your life. I like being positive better than negative. Now, I don't mind being negative to some Packer fans if they want to come in and troll. But thank you for those concerns. That's actually heartwarming to me. I'm thinking about that. I enjoy talking football with you guys and defensive tackles. So what do you guys think about that? Keith Cooper. You guys like Keith Cooper? It seems like you guys want to have him in. So, but as far as Chris Smith, Miles Adams, and our 3rd round draft pick, Broderick Martin. Hey, Pete, can you come in and do the hard things?
Took care of that thing.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Pete the Unaliver helps me move on to the linebacker room. And the linebacker room has Jack Campbell, Captain Jack Campbell, Alex Anzalone, Derek Barnes. Oh, it's good to see Derek Barnes. And if you know about my hot take, is I think Derek Barnes will be second on the team in sacks this year. I think Derek Barnes is going to have double-digit sacks, and he will be that presence on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson. It comes from the most mysterious places, right? Grant Stewart, Trevor Nowaski, Zach Cunningham. I think this one's simple. I think the linebacker room is simple. The ones that are going to make the team stood out. They all have value all the way down. I love the starters. Jack Campbell, Alex Anzalone. You got two guys, especially Alex, in coverage. Jack Campbell's getting way better in coverage. Derek Barnes is more of your, set edge. He can cover every once in a while. But Trevor Nowaski, you got a guy that has experience. He's been in the system. He's filled in and played in games and played well. Grant Stewart, you want to talk about a guy, you could tell right off the bat when they signed him that he was going to take advantage of a work merit-based system. Like, you got to earn your spot here. I really do believe that. And I think that when they do make these cuts, that's going to reflect the people that have worked hard and earned their spots. I think that you're really going to see them make a couple moves that are going to make people go, whoa, I can't believe they did that. Either way, like if they keep a guy like Broderick Martin over a Keith Cooper, I'll criticize that. I will definitely criticize that. But as far as this, I think, Anthony Pittman and Deron Gilbert, I don't feel as bad about it.
Took care of that thing for you.
I got 6 linebackers: Campbell, Anzalone, Barnes, Grant Stewart, Trevor Nowaski, and Zach Cunningham. Let me know if you got something different in there as I move on to our secondary. Now, I don't know where some of these guys are going to shake out as far as being a cornerback, slot corner, or safety. I have no idea because they've had them all playing everywhere. Terrion Arnold, DJ Reed, and Meek Robertson, those are no-brainers. Khalil Dorsey, no-brainer. It's good to see him back. He's such a valuable special teamer too. And then him providing value as a depth corner is awesome. Rock Yassin, I'll throw him in there. I don't know where you put Avonte Maddox if you're putting him at safety. Ian, the safeties are Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph. I think Ian Kenley has a really good chance to make the roster. Lawrence Strickland, I think he's going to make the roster. I think Lawrence Strickland played so well. He's been playing well. He's a guy that's been in the system for a couple years and has been on the practice squad. And experience. I think experience matters in this, and he really showed it in the last game. I thought he made a couple nice plays in that Houston game. Rock Yassin, that's proven to be a pretty valuable free agent pickup, especially with our injuries that we've had. The Eric Hallett, does he make the team? Nick Whiteside, does he make the team? I don't think anybody else. I think they can move in, Maurice Norris to injured reserve. That would be a way to keep him. But what do you think? I don't even know where to categorize these guys. Do we just keep like 10 secondary guys? We keep Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Rock Yassin, Ian Kenley, Lawrence Strickland, Khalil Dorsey, Avonte Maddox, Amik Robertson, DJ Reed, and Terrion Arnold. And everybody else can meet Pete.
Took care of that thing for you.
Thanks, Pete. And all of those guys that I mentioned can play 3 positions. That's what gets you on this team. I swear to God, it's versatility. Versatility gets you on this team. And the specialists, there's no doubt. Jack Fox, Jake Bate, Hogan Hatton, those guys will have roster spots. All right. What's up, Elise? Holy crap.
You like that?
It's good to see you, everybody. I'm glad. Oh, I got some agreement. I agree, Russ. Huge year for Barnes. Grant Stewart's earned that spot. Terrion Arnold, I'm about 5 or 6 interceptions because he's not got a lot better. I like the way that he covers. You got 5 or 6 interceptions. I think Terrion Arnold got better just during the season. And Elise is the meme master. The master of memes. Elise memes. But I appreciate everybody jumping on here with me today. I wanted to get back into it. I wanted to get back at it. Been working my butt off. Adding the Detroit Tigers to the mix a little bit. Almost basketball season. Getting into playoff baseball. It's exciting in Detroit right now. That's just my opinion. It's an exciting time to be a fan of the sports in the 313. But when it comes to Terrion Arnold, I think that he got better during the season. I mean, he had a lot of penalties. He had a lot of penalties at the beginning of the season. And I checked this out. But Terrion Arnold from weeks 1 to week 10, he had like 9 pass interference penalties or illegal contact. And then from weeks 11 on, he only had 1 penalty for the rest of the season. So you could actually watch him get better in season. And that's harder to do because you can't grind on your craft during the season because the season's such a grind. A lot of these guys, when they make their jumps, they get into the off season and they make the most out of it. Oh, that's all right. That's all right. It gives me Jerome gives me an opportunity to talk about the man. But this is one of the reasons that I don't think that the coordinators mean as much as what people think. Like, losing the coordinators definitely changes things. It makes it harder. You got to learn the new terminologies and all that. But in the way that the Lions switch coordinators, I mean, you have 2 guys that have been in the room already. You have that understand how they want to go about things. Kelvin Shepard is going to be a better defensive coordinator than Aaron Glenn. The defense is going to be the best that it's ever been underneath Kelvin Shepard. Mark it down. It's okay. I mean, we're talking about something that Detroit sports has never been able to talk about before. You know what that is? That is a coach leaving Detroit for a promotion. That's never happened before. If you were a coach Detroit was the place that you came to be unalived, to have Pete the Unaliver come in
Took care of that thing for you.
and take care of you and your career. Finished. You're done. You went to Detroit. It's a death sentence, but it's not. Not anymore. Because for the first time, not one, but two coordinators went and got head coaching jobs. Like, that doesn't scare me that we lost talented coaches. Who do you think developed Ben Johnson? He wasn't even a position coach. Comes in and is a tight ends coach here. I remember when they promoted Ben Johnson. Oh, yeah, whatever. This ain't going to work. Like, we develop players. We develop coaches. I'm not worried about it at all. As a matter of fact, Kelvin Shepard was ready to take over the defense last year. You could watch him on Hard Knocks, and you could tell that Kelvin Shepard is ready to lead people. I'm excited about what Kelvin Shepard, because I like the idea of aggressive defense. I think our defense is going to take a lot of chances because our offense can rip. We can run the football. Our offense got playmakers. We're going to score. We're going to score whenever we want. We're going to average a lot of points this year. And then we're going to have a defense that is very aggressive, trying to force them into mistakes, because if you make too many mistakes against an offense that's as good as Detroit, you're going to lose the track meet. So I expect us to be very aggressive. I expect us to be good against the run. What's up? What's up, Lee? 313 in the house. Shep is going to be more aggressive than AG. Now, as far as Johnny Morton goes, I want to tell you the way that I see Johnny Morton. Johnny Morton isn't here to be the offensive coordinator. He's here to let Jared Goff be the offensive coordinator. He's got ideas they're putting in there, but at the end of the day, they're giving the offensive reins to Jared Goff. Johnny Morton is there for designing plays, creating space matchups, and the things that he does really well. But as far as the decisions, a lot like the decisions were last year. When Jared Goff goes up to the line of scrimmage, there's more than one play that is called, and Jared Goff is the one that has to make the decision when he looks out over the defense on what play is going to be called. I'm not taking anything away from Ben Johnson. I think he's going to do fine. He's going to do fine. I don't know if he's going to be a great head coach, but as far as him just being the genius that Goff can't live without, Goff is the maestro. He's the one that goes out there and executes the play, reads the defense, decides which one of Ben Johnson's plays that he was going to check into. It's not going to be any different with Johnny Morton. And it isn't just Jared Goff. It's Penei Sewell has seen these defenses. Taylor Decker's seen these defenses. Jahmyr Gibbs has seen these defenses. This offense has been together. It's not like Johnny Morton is an outsider, but in a way, he kind of is. You got a real nice machine right there, Johnny. We don't want you to wreck that machine, Johnny. We're going to let you drive it out on the highway, Johnny. But as far as who's got the controls, Maybe he's just sitting on the passenger side. Jared Goff is driving the car, and Johnny, all you have is an emergency brake over there. Jared Goff is driving this thing. Okay? When he gets out there, he's the one that's going to make the decision on what play is being called. When he sees the defense, when he puts a guy in motion, and he finds out whether it's a zone or man-to-man, and he's figuring out where guys are moving. You're going to exploit matchups. Jared, you can't do that as an offensive coordinator. All you can do is call the play, but when they get out and defensive players start moving around, Goff is going to find the matchup. Who's my bitch? Who's got the matchup that isn't right? All of our playmakers can win one-on-ones. St. Brown is always open. Yeah, it's going to be a fun year. I think that it's too much emphasis is put on the coordinators. We have the players. The players are going to make the plays. And I'm not saying it's not going to be learning curve, but don't forget about the progression of these players. Yeah, I understand Brian Branch, is an all-pro type of player. But he's only like 23 years old. In a couple of years, he will reach his prime. And he's already an all-pro player. Let that sink in. Kirby Joseph, already an all-pro player. He's only 25 years old. Let that sink in. These players have not reached their peak yet. Penei Sewell has not reached his peak yet. They are going to be entering their prime. They're going into their prime together. So I understand minus coordinators, that's going to be a learning curve. Hard schedule, I get it. But we have the players to win those tough games. We have Aiden Hutchinson now. And Rick, yeah, you say, so long as Morton doesn't consistently forget that he has one of the best running backs on the planet, it ain't his call, Rick. It ain't his call. You can listen to Morton talk. He knows this is Goff's offense. This is the Goffense. This is the Goffense. Goff will check to a run if he needs to check to a run. Goff can run it on every down if he wants to. He can hand it off to Montgomery. He can check to a run play. It's Goff's show now. That's the thing. Is like the new offensive coordinator is Jared Goff. Now, I'm not saying that Peyton Manning had an offensive coordinator too. How much do you think that mattered when he went out there? Oh, Goff isn't Peyton Manning. Well, Goff is a lot like Peyton Manning. A tall, unmobile quarterback that goes out there and reads defenses. Got rid of the ball fast. Distributed. That's why he was good. That's his style, though. And it feels like the good pocket quarterback guy, it's just lost on people. It's like it's not even a thing. Every good pocket quarterback, if he didn't have an offensive lineman, he wouldn't be doing nothing. It's like that's everybody. I mean, unless you want your play to be designed around the quarterback running, I don't want a mobile quarterback. I want a player that knows how to read 4 progressions, and if that doesn't work, throw the ball in the dirt. Am I saying that Jared Goff is the one consistent? Nobody's forgetting. What are you talking about, Rick? Who's forgetting about Gibbs? Gibbs had 2,000 yards. Like, nobody's forgetting about Gibbs. Now, I think Ben Johnson got super slick last year. I think that Jared Goff is going to have that power this year, Rick. I think Ben Johnson gave Jared Goff some power last year to run the offense and to make checks. But I think, and they've even said this, but I think that the coaching staff is giving Jared Goff even more of those reins this year, Rick. So am I saying Goff is consistently forgetting about Gibbs? I don't think anybody was consistently forgetting about Gibbs. I think last year in the playoff game, when they should have got the ball to Gibbs, they tried a wide receiver pass. And I don't think that that's Goff's fault. But we have the players, though. I like the idea of having Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery out there at the same time. Goff will have full command of the offense this year. The Goffense. Jerome thinks that Ben forgot to use his tight end. I think there's some truth in that, especially at the beginning of the season. That might have had a little bit to do with, I don't know if you knew this, Jerome, but I think that Laporta was dealing with something that was just kind of an injury type of thing that he was just kind of going through at the beginning of the season, week 8, week 9. You saw an uptick in him for sure. But where do we go, though, Jerome? Because we have when you think of the potential of the offense, right? Amon-Ra St. Brown, 1,000 yards, right? Jameson Williams, you could probably think he could get 1,000 yards, right? Could you say Sam Laporta? He's a good enough tight end to get 1,000 yards, right? Jahmyr Gibbs, how many yards receiving could he have? Could you have a running back that gets 1,000 yards? They involve him more, right? There's 4. I don't think that Jared Goff's going to throw for 7,000 yards. Everybody's not going to be able to get 1,000 yards, but we got a lot of players. You think Jared Goff could throw for 5,000 yards this year? Because Sam Laporta could get 1,000 yards. That would be unheard of. Could you imagine having 4 1,000-yard receivers? And there you go. Tesla getting 800 on top of that. There's 4,800. I think Gibbs could have 1,000 yards receiving. I think that 2,000 yards from scrimmage is definitely in play. I don't know about 2K rushing, Rick, but I think 2,000 yards from scrimmage is definitely on the table. Because when I look at Jahmyr Gibbs, it just reminds me so much of Marshall Faulk. I think Marshall Faulk's one of the greatest running backs of all time. I think that he's underrated for what he did because receiving running backs back in the day weren't as, it wasn't as much of a thing. Now you want these guys that can do both, but back in the day, there wasn't so many receiving running backs, and Marshall Faulk was one of those OGs. And I think Jahmyr Gibbs, I just love it. I love it. It's like the reincarnation of Marshall Falk. Jerome says, do you think they put Isaac Tesla on the outside because they had talked about, and I don't know if that's true. I think he's going to play everywhere, Jerome. I think he's better served on the outside, so I do believe that they will most definitely have him on the outside, probably more than even in the slot. I think too much is made of, this is my number 1 receiver, this is my number 2 receiver, and this is my number 3 receiver, and it's 1, 2, 3. It's not necessarily that. You know, I think that, you know, Tesla may play the number 1 receiver role, where Amon-Ra's in the slot and Jameson plays the number 2. This is a smorgasbord, Jerome. A smorgasbord of receivers that can play inside, outside, on the line. I mean, hell, St. Brown even lines up in the backfield sometimes. But I think Tesla is going to be the reason that Jahmyr Gibbs scores long touchdowns. Because we have good offensive linemen that can get the running back to the second level. But it's so rare to have the second level blocking be elite too. And I think that Tesla is going to go out there and he's going to destroy some safeties. And then you're going to see Jahmyr Gibbs running long touchdowns. And I think Tesla, if I had to make a prediction, I think he'll have like 500 or 600 yards receiving, but it's going to be on like, you know, 35 catches, because he's just going to be the guy that's going to eat when they're doubling Amon-Ra. They put a safety over top on Jameson Williams. They got Laporta up on the line, and they're trying to figure everything out, and they're trying to stop the run too, and they do everything, and they're just going to leave Tesla wide open as that 5 or 6 option in the pass game, and he's just going to be running free. It's every wide receiver's dream is to not be the focal point, running wide open. And that's where you're going to see the bulk of Tesla's work, in my opinion. Oh, you can't call him a slot merchant. Amon-Ra St. Brown is that straight weapon. He's the reincarnation of Hines Ward. I love it. I love it. Lions, the bad guy. Oh, my God, it's you. What up? 11:30 a.m. Long time. Let's go, Lions. You know what, bad guy?
Say hello to my little friend.
You missed a lot of it. I'm about ready to close it out. Around 10 o'clock in the morning is when I want to be able to do these lives, especially getting into the season. I'm going to go live in the morning as many times as I can this week, but starting, September 2nd, that's when my son starts going to kindergarten, which is going to be wide open now. So I'll be able to do this time slot in the morning. But bad guy, yeah, it's good to see you in here. It's good to see you in here. Totally agree. All right. Tesla is the new Puka. Only the thing is, I get you. Tesla is a new Puka, but Puka was the number 2 wide receiver right off the bat. He didn't really they didn't have other guys right there. So I think Tesla is in a better situation than Puka was. He's going to have to win against number 4 DBs. This is going to be fun. This is going to be so much fun. But this has been the Lion Villain Report. I am the host, The 313 Villain. I'm Russell Wayne. Connect with us, man. Hit that subscribe button. Go to YouTube, please. I'm trying to get over 1,000 subscribers. I'm getting close. I'm like 30 away. Help me out here. Here's the YouTube page. Connect with me on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button for me if you haven't already. And if you have already, share it with somebody else that'll hit the subscribe button. And I would appreciate that so much. Connect with me on the Facebook. We have over 75,000 people on our Facebook. I appreciate that so much. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm on X. X at 313 Villain. Where's that at? Right there. Get in there. I'll be joining Johnny Gaz tomorrow night in the evening at 9:30 p.m. on the Johnny Gaz Live. That'll be my live for tomorrow. Won't be until the evening. So come check it out. Episode, like all of our other episodes, are brought to you by Fanatics. If you're rocking the 313, if you bleed Honolulu blue, then you need to gear up like a real one over there at our affiliate marketing partners at fanatics.com. Every click supports the channel, the page. So lets the world know that Detroit fans do it bigger, better, and we're taking over stadiums. Now grab your gear and then tag me when it lands. Take a picture. I'll put it up on the page. Villain Squads don't do knockoffs. We do official. We do Fanatics. Get yours. Thank you for joining the show today. The final roster projections. I am your host, Russell Wayne, the 313 Villain. God bless you. It's faith, family, and then football in that order. We don't let football use us. We use football to spend time with our family and create memories. God bless you guys. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again. In Jesus' name, amen. See you tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Peace out.